What's up, y'all? Today we are talking low whistles, which I don't really do that much on this channel, or at least I haven't done that much so far. But specifically we're talking about this whistle, which is one that I've had for quite a while now. It's made by Cillian O'Briain, and I got it in about 1999, I think, somewhere around there. On one of my first trips to Ireland, I got it in Galway at a cool little shop. And I got it to replace a really ancient whistle, this one in fact. So we'll talk a little bit about why you might want to do that, what the difference is between these two. So, stick around. It's a tune called the Kerry Fling. It's not a particularly common one, but it's got a nice lilty kind of pace, and I thought it might work on the low whistle, which I don't really play a lot. I mentioned that in the beginning. I can probably count on one hand the number of times that I've played this thing, which is a shame because it's a professional instrument. What makes it professional? Well, for one thing, it's tunable. That's a big plus. Not critical if you're mostly planning on playing just solo kind of stuff, or if it's going to be an occasional use sort of thing where you could get other people to tune to you once or twice. But really, if you're going to be playing it with other folks regularly, then tunable is kind of a must. This one goes above and beyond in the tunable world. It's actually got a bit of a cork lining here, which is nice because if you go through different climates, and if you're running some moisture through this, it can swell and it can get a little sticky, a little bit difficult to tune. The cork absorbs some of that change in pressure, change in moisture, and makes it regularly able to be tuned regardless of what your environment is. Which is kind of nice and not something I've ever seen on a low whistle, or at least nothing that I'd seen to that point when I got it. It feels sturdy. It's very dense. It's, I wouldn't say heavy, but yeah, dense. Dense is the right word. It just feels serious. The head joint looks well built. The seams look good. There's not any gaps in here. It just looks well made. I've heard lately that folks are doing countersunk holes, which would be kind of interesting. I bet it'd be comfortable. This is not like that, but it's never really been an issue for me playing it. That said, you kind of have to use the piper's grip. It's one of those things where if you try to use your fingertips, maybe some people could do it, maybe it's not impossible, but it certainly feels impossible when I try to do this, at least impossible to play anything up tempo. The piper's grip just feels a lot more natural. Now, my mom, bless her heart, would pretty much always buy me something if it was music related. Maybe she just wanted me to play music rather than play video games, I don't know. But I said I want to get a low whistle because I watched Davy Spillane play one on Riverdance, and I want to be able to play like that. So we got this. I don't know how much it was back in 1990, whatever. It was too much. Here's why. I can't quite get an entire scale at a reasonable pace without having to take a breath. The amount of air that gets lost with this thing. You hear that? Just that constant air being lost. And that's all you can think about when you play this. At least it's all I can think about. Since I was playing in a band that needed a low whistle, or at least that I decided that it needed a low whistle, I wanted to get something worth playing, and that's how I landed on this one from Cillian O'Briain. But I also play the flute. and the flute has the same range. So, for example, the lowest note on here, that's about as much volume and as much punch as I can get out of it. Versus you hear the range of character, range of tone that you can get, the difference, versus this. It's about as clear and consistent as I can make it, and about as strong as I can make it. I don't have as much variety, which again is why I tend to land on the flute. That being said, if you don't play the flute, getting that extra octave down here is pretty nice, and it does give you a lot more options, a lot more things that you can do. The nice thing about what I keep calling professional low whistle is that in this case, with this one, you do have some degree of control over your tone. You can just blow directly as is. Let's pick the note G. So you get some tone, you get a bit of air in there also. You can refine it as you blow and clean it up a little bit. You don't have quite the level of bite that you can get on a flute, but you can clean it up, and it does give you some amount of choice when you're playing, which is nice because really with any sort of instrument that has a predetermined embouchure, like this does, like this is, then you don't usually have that much choice. So again, relatively speaking, this, if I try to clean up the tone, all I do is run out of air faster. So what do you guys think? Are you fans of low whistles? Did you land on this video by happenstance, or are you searching out info on low whistles? Let me know, especially for those of you who play flute also. Those are the folks that I'm really curious about. How often do you play low whistle if you're also a flute player? You know, one thing that might be interesting, I wonder if I was able to play low whistle with somebody who's playing high whistle, like a double whistle thing. Usually there's nothing worse than two high whistles playing at the same time. It's like nails on a chalkboard. But high whistle versus low whistle, like... they're an octave apart, so they don't conflict as much. At least to my ear, it seems like they blend a lot better. So, what do you guys think? Maybe I ought to give it another chance. Play it more often, just to keep my fingers in the habit, if for no other reason. I will see y'all next time. Cheers, y'all.